Most of us have driven through the I-496 freeway in Lansing. At one time, there was a thriving, diverse community in that area, but it was destroyed during the freeway's construction in the 1960s. Unfortunately, this wasn't uncommon, and this racist practice later became known as redlining. Mary Jane McGuire is 92 years old and has lived in Lansing her entire life. McGuire says her family was a victim of redlining in the 60s. The construction of I-496 erased an entire black community, a community that McGuire's family belonged to.
It was a community of well-built English tutor houses primarily. We'd only been there in that area maybe 6 years or so, and it wasn't anything that we expected to happen. We were planning on living in that house for a period of years.
McGuire's family loved the area, so when they were told to leave, they resisted.
We were one of the last homes to be purchased by the state because we refused to sell our house.
Burton Smith was best friends with McGuire's son. When the construction happened, they went to the same elementary school.
It was very disheartening to see, the McGuire's home destroyed. It was very disheartening as to look at the community in itself that was just a block away that we would be able to actually go across to, and was part of our lives of walking to school and realizing that, you weren't going to school with these folks that were in your neighborhood anymore.
Smith says the construction is a sour memory people don't like to talk about.
It was so painful for them. I mean, you look at it from that standpoint that, one day your house is there and a month later your house is gone.
McGuire says after the state knocked down her home, they needed to find somewhere else to live, which at the time wasn't easy.
It was a situation where we were not necessarily shown or invited into neighborhoods where we might want to go. It became evident that the realtors or the salespeople, etc., that were showing us around had designated an area.
For example, they looked at a home in Lansing Township, north of Lake Lansing Road. They placed an offer, but the request was denied.
This particular addendum was saying that they would not sell to blacks. So at that time, then, we filed a suit against the Civil Rights Commission.
Eventually, they found a home in a nice neighborhood, but then families started to move out.
We did go through hearing comments about what's going to happen because the McGuires are moving into the neighborhood.
McGuire and Smith say it's important for people to understand the impact redlining has played in our history.
I don't think we need to cover up the history of the past. I think we need to examine it and realize that this is something that we need in order for us to go forward.
I keep saying, don't cut this information out of the curriculum of our children, because they need to know what life had been like at one time.
Here for you in Lansing, Samana Sheikh, 6 News.